I'm Chad Owen, the Annuity Sales Coach. In 2007, I was $150,000 in credit card debt, and now I've written over $155 million in annuity production as a solo producer. I make my own calls, schedule my own appointments, do my own follow-up, and I'm actively in the field just like you. If you've hit a rough patch in your business, you're not alone. I've helped agents overcome and find success on a daily basis, and now many write over $1 million or more each month. Let me help you do the same. Buckle up, it's time to go to school with the Annuity Sales Coach. Hello everyone, Chad Owen, the Annuity Sales Coach. Once again, I am doing a podcast in my truck, but I'm also doing a live drive vlog. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, you can on our Retirement Realized Agents Academy channel. Once again, if you are doing that, please subscribe, like, and comment. I love hearing what people say about our products and about our actual training. As you know, we have the website up and running right now, and many of you are actually on it. I appreciate that. It's been great. We've been getting some great feedback. We have well over 45 hours of actual training videos. Actually, we have a lot more than that. That's just in the roadmap part of it. And then we have some individual training events. But guys, I want to encourage you. I had a major life event. And if some of you follow me on LinkedIn, you might have seen it, or Facebook. But it's just too good to not share on the podcast. It's one of those things that you just try and you go through life, and all of a sudden something happens where you're back to where you were, but in a much better way. And hopefully in a much better way. Let's just say that. But what happened is I was actually invited to speak at this conference. I've been going to this, it's called Increase, and it's basically a Christian-based business conference. It's been going on for 37 years and very well established. The gentleman who started it is Bob Harrison, and he's been going strong since, 75 years old. And I think I actually see more drive and passion in this guy than every year. It seems to get more and more, and it's incredible. But the amazing thing about it is I actually wrote a book called Striving for the Bottom. And if you want to get that, it's called www.strivingforthebottom.com, and you can actually order that book. But if you mention this, our Annuity Sales Coach vlog, I'll actually send you the audio and the PDF or the ebook for free. But just be sure you mention that. Send me your email and I'll do that for you. But I say that because when we were in this event, something hit me, and it was actually before something hit me really hard. See, this event was held in Maui. A lot of you know that I actually lived in Maui a good part of my time. But the crazy thing about this is almost 28 years ago, I used to be a banquets waiter. And the hotel was called the Grand Wailea that I was a banquets waiter at. And I used to sit there and I would serve these people, and I would sit there and I'd go, what would it be like to just sit in these chairs? What do you have to do to where you can actually go to one of these events and you can be sitting in these tables? And here's the crazy thing about it. So it's at the Grand Wailea, and I'm repeating stuff, but this is the magnitude of this event that happened in my life. I actually got to not only sit at the same tables that I used to be a banquet waiter in the Grand Wailea, because the event was held at the Grand Wailea. I not only got to sit in them, I got to speak at one of the event to almost 400 high-achieving people and just share my story about striving for the bottom. And it's the book I wrote. Obviously, as you know my Stress and Rocking Chairs book, and that's all about financial mentorship, helping people with safe money. Striving for the Bottom is biblical mentorship and just helping people be better at who they are and what they can do. And it really goes back into the whole principle of I want to be the low water mark for my children. I want my children to continue to succeed and do far more than I've ever done. I don't want them to have to go through a lot of the struggles I went through. I want them struggling in areas that are far beyond what I ever could have done. And so when we think about it, the whole book is about the concept of being in competition with our kids or being in competition with other people. And there's no reason to be in competition with anybody. If we truly love people and we truly want what's best for people, it's not going to be about competition. It's going to be about helping others. And there are so many very high level, high valued people that have a lot of influence in the world that always say, John Maxwell is one of the ones I can think of right off the top of my head. He just talks about the way you get ahead in life is by helping people. So when you help people, you get helped yourself. And it's so true. The more I help y'all and the more I do the training, the more I do the coaching, and the more I hear the success stories, the more I hear from people who only did $2 million one year and now they've just had their first $1 million month. The guy who wrote $5 million now wrote $11 million. The guy who wrote $3 million now writing $5 million. The success stories are incredible because generally a lot of y'all, when I'm helping you, you actually tell me, hey, I got to take my family on this vacation that I've never even dreamt of, but I was able to do it. Well, that leads to the other part of this story. So not only was I able to sit at the table of one of these banquet areas, I was able to speak at the event. But here's the thing that's even more amazing. In this hotel, there's also a restaurant called Kincha. Kincha was a high-end Japanese restaurant. So in this Japanese restaurant, I was working banquets and my friend said, hey, you need to check out this Japanese restaurant. It's in the same hotel, so it was a lateral transfer. I'm like, you know what? That would be great. I would love to do that. So I started working at this restaurant October 3rd. And I saw this lady there, and it ended up, her name was Leilani, and we ended up being really good friends, just great, great friends. She was a hostess, I was a busboy. One day, after about 3 months of getting to know her, almost 4 months of getting to know her, we were once again great friends. I walked up to her and she was sitting at a desk and she was preparing the schedule for the week or for the night. And I walked up and I put my hand on her shoulder, and I just thought of her as a friend, but I put my hand on her shoulder and I fell head over heels in love with her. And the Lord said, this is your wife. And as you guys know, this is the same lady I've been married to for over 26 years. The feeling has never went away. It's only become stronger. You know, my success will never be sacrificed on the altar of my family. In other words, I will always make sure that no matter how successful I get, my family is going to be celebrating with me. So at this hotel where I was able to speak at is actually the same place my wife and I met, which is just awesome because you think about it, 28 years later, we're cycling back through because what happened is we met October 3rd, we started dating January 20th, we got engaged June 20th, we got married December 31st of 1992. Almost 28 years later, we're now back at the same hotel that we met at. So I'm in the place where I worked banquets, sitting at the table, speaking at the event at the same hotel where I met my wife, and we have all of our children with us. Every single one of them. And on top of that, we have the two oldest are married. So we have my oldest and her husband, we have my second and her husband, and then we have my 2 kids. I also was able to bring my operations manager and my executive assistant. And it was unbelievable because now I'm able to celebrate what we went through for 28 years, struggling, just barely getting by at times. As you know, $150,000 in credit card debt. Our idea was a vacation, was being able to take a road trip. And I remember one of the places we went to as we're taking a road trip, we could only get the one room. And so we actually put our kids in the same room with us, and we used one of the little drawers as like a little kind of playpen for one of the kids. We lined it with blankets, and that's what one of our kids slept in. Now we're staying at the Grand Wailea, which is one of the finest resorts in the entire world. And I'm there with my family, and when they announced my name, my kids all jumped up, started screaming. My wife was crying. It was just, 2 of my daughters were crying. It was just, I said, this is what life is about. They're celebrating with me. We're getting to enjoy this journey. We're getting to celebrate everything together. And there's a lot of you that you can't visualize that right now. You can't visualize what it's going to be like when you get to celebrate when you're with your family, when you do your first $1 million month, when you start writing $5 million a year. I'll tell you, that's one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my life, was my entire family being there, getting to enjoy this moment. And then we're also taking a river cruise coming up here in May. We're doing a family cruise in June, celebrating my son graduating high school. We have all these things that are planned, and it's all about family. It's hanging out together. It's not about the Ferrari. It's not about, which I don't have, I'm just making it clear, but I'm just saying, it's not about fancy this, fancy that. It's about the memories we get to create as a family. The time we get to enjoy together, the lifestyle, the not having to worry about how we're paying this bill, how we're paying that bill. And as you know, I went through that. I know what that's like. But I want to really take time to encourage others that are maybe at the very beginning. And they're going, man, I just don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll tell you, there was many times I did not see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's many times I felt like it was almost a hopeless situation. I was very frustrated. And this is actually, honestly, up until fairly recent. I mean, I remember just 3 or 4 years ago, I went through a 2.5 month time frame where I think I issued only about $200,000. But by the end of the time frame, I ended up having the biggest year. Up at the end of the year, I had the biggest year, 16.2 million, that I've ever had in my life. But man, I went through that 2-month spell, which was just very frustrating, very challenging. But you know what? I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I remember getting so frustrated. I was like, man, what is going on? And my wife said, hun, you've got this. You can do this. You've been through these phases before. You're excellent at what you do. And I had this extra person in my life that encouraged me. And that's kind of what I get to do as well, right? I mean, I've talked to a lot of you, and you've been in a frustrating situation, and you're like, man, it's been a month since I've had a deal. And then a week later, you call me and I go, hey, look at the sale I just had. This guy I just talked to hadn't had a big deal in quite a while, and he ended up having a $400,000 deal. He's texting me, he's all excited, and he's just like, I haven't had this in a long time. That $400,000 deal has now changed his financial situation. He's able to pick up a different lead system because of the amount of money I've trained him. I said, hey, once you get a big deal, you got to set some money aside to be able to establish some leads coming in. And he's able to do that. But once again, it's because the one lead he got, I was able to walk him through that, and he was able to get a big deal because I was able to coach him through the process. He's actually in my inner circle level, and we just went through the process, and he ended up closing the deal. He has another $1 million on the table right now that looks like it's going to be closing as well. So let's just say he's paying $15,000 a year for that entire membership, and he just, through these 2 deals, he's going to way blow it out, not only pay for the entire membership, be able to catch up on some bills, be able to start a lead system, and once again, he's going to be able to take some time to enjoy with his family. He's going to take a little vacation with his family, which is something they haven't been able to do. So I go down this entire story for one. In my faith, we call it a testimony. And a testimony is just really, to me, shouting out what God has done and where he's brought us in our life. Whatever faith you have, whatever religion is, this is how I celebrate. I just go, you know what? I believe God has been incredibly instrumental. I believe he's the reason why I'm where I am. He's always been faithful in what we've done. Yes, we've had trials, but a lot of the trials have actually been from dumb mistakes I've made, things I should or should have not done. And it cost me to get in a situation. But this testimony will allow you to go, you know what? It doesn't matter where you are right now. Keep pushing forward. Keep doing the training. Keep doing the coaching. Keep doing the information gathering. Become an expert at what you do. And you as well will also be able to call me and say, or send me an email, or even on video comments, I see it. Hey, I applied this process, just had a $200,000 deal. That's why I think, honestly, if you're going to go to the Retirement Realized Agents Academy on YouTube, comment, because you encourage others when you share your success stories. You like, you subscribe, and you ring the bell. Ringing the bell just means anytime I post anything new on YouTube, you actually will be notified of that. But our community, my operations manager, Josh Delgado, has talked real heavily about wanting to build a community for agents, a place where we can celebrate each other's achievements, a place where someone else, let's say an agent that I've helped now that's writing $10 million last year, and he only wrote $2 million the year before that, that he can also come and go, hey, you know what? I was there. I remember what that was like. And we can encourage each other, because our story is one of the greatest testimonies and ways to encourage others and realize that, hey, you know what? It's just like the guy who is 400 pounds and he starts reading all these stories of someone who's now was 400 pounds, now weighs 200 pounds, and becomes encouraged by that. It's a physical weight, but what a lot of people don't realize is you're carrying around 400 pounds of financial weight and stress right now, and you need to hear the testimony of people who don't carry a financial weight right now. They're able to revel in the joy and celebrate and rejoice in what they came from to where they are, and help others from where they were to get to where they are by helping you get from where you are to where you need to be. And that's just the beauty of mentoring and coaching, and I love getting to do that. I love getting to do that. If you're not one of our agents, guys, sign up. It's www.rragentsacademy.com or Retirement Realized Agents Academy. Guys, sign up, because what this will do is we have the Pro, we have the Pro Plus, we have the Inner Circle, we have individual courses. I have so many things that can help you get better at what you do. And nobody that is successful doesn't have coaches. I'm seeking right now for a coach, trying to find a really good coach to take me to the next level, because I'm in a level right now where I just broke out and had a phenomenal start. I've written almost a little over 9 million in the past 3 months in annuities. And I'm just chomping at the bit to continue to go farther and better. That's 9 million in the past 4 months, almost 10 million. So, and as you can tell, I'm very honest with you guys. I don't want to make up anything that's not true. I want to tell you exactly what it is. So I appreciate your time, guys. You have a great day. I hope this encourages you. This is Chad Owen, the Annuity Sales Coach. This is Chad Owen. If you've enjoyed this free training, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can stay up to date with my weekly annuity training. If you're looking for deeper coaching, go to rragentsacademy.com and sign up for instant access to over 45 hours of content, along with my monthly training and Q&A calls. You deserve success, and I can help you get there faster.